Hey guys, all right, so I finally got it figured out. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Let's do 19.3 combinations and probability. So a combination is a selection of objects from a group where order is unimportant. So we don't care what order these things are selected, just if they're selected. Um, so the number of combinations of n number of objects taken are numbers at a time. Okay, so here's the formula that we use to find different numbers of combinations. This n on top here with the exclamation point, that's called n factorial. Factorial means each number multiplied to the one behind it. So if it's 5 factorial, it's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That's 5 factorial. So our number of combinations in number of objects taken r number of times. So our formula here is n factorial over r factorial times n minus r factorial. Remember this formula. It's helpful to find all of the pieces in the equations that we need. So I'll show you here for this example. So 4 boys and 8 girls. So 3 are chosen at random. What's the probability that all 3 are girls? Okay, so remember that our formula for probability, the probability that some event will happen is it's the number of possible outcomes for that event divided by the number of all possible outcomes, right? So to find the probability that all 3 chosen here are girls, that's what we're looking for. We want to find the probability that all 3 are girls. We need to find the number of possible outcomes for our event, and we need to find the total number of all possible outcomes. So we're going to use this formula up here, our combinations formula, to find the different pieces of this so that we can find the probability that our event will happen. So first, let's figure out this one down here. We'll figure out our total number of choices. So our sample set. We're going to use this formula up here to figure out our total possible number of outcomes. So a sample set, the total, all possibilities of our outcomes is a combination of 3 students chosen from all 12, right? Because all possibilities here, we need 3, right? So 3 chosen from 12. Okay, so our sample set, the number of all possible outcomes in our sample set. So how many objects do we have? 12. How many things are being chosen? 3. So 12 is our n, 3 is our r, right? So when we follow this formula up here, we get n factorial, so 12 factorial, divided by our r is 3, because we can only have 3 chosen, right? So our number of objects taken is 3. So 3 factorial, and then we also need to multiply that to n minus r factorial. Well, our n is 12, our r is 3, 12 minus 3 is 9 factorial. Just use a calculator for this. 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 divided by 3 times 2 times 1 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 220. Take my word for it. Or put it in, or don't. Put it in a calculator. Try it for yourself. So our all possibilities of our sample size, of our sample, is 220. So that is what goes on the bottom here. So this, we found our bottom number, 220. Okay, now we need to figure out this guy up here, our all of the possibilities of this event happening. So event A consists of any combination of any 3 girls from our starting 8, okay? So we're gonna use this formula up here again to figure out all possible ways that our event A can occur. So we can only pick 3 girls, right? Because 3 chosen at random, so we need 3 girls from the starting 8. Our event is that girls are picked. So we only have 8 girls, right? And we need 3 to be picked. That's where we're getting this, our N and R. So our N is our number of objects, right? That's our total number of girls. R is the number of combinations, or the number of times we can pick that. So we can only pick 3 girls and we have 8 girls. So our N is 8 and our R is 3. Plug that into our formula. N is 8 factorial, 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 3 factorial, 3 times 2 times 1. And then our N minus R, N is 8, R is 3, 8 minus 3 is 5. So we do these, we do the factorial, we do the division, we get 56. So all possibility, the number of possible events is 56. There we go. So now that we have all of the number of possible outcomes for our event, which is our event is A. And now that we have all the possibilities of all the outcomes is our total sample size. So we have our denominator here. So the probability that event A will occur, our event A is that 3 people chosen at random from 4 boys and 8 girls are all 3 girls. So the probability of that happening is 56 over 220. And when we reduce that, we get 14 over 55. So on your homeworks, it's mostly these questions where you're going to need to find the probability of some events. So you're going to need to find your number of possible outcomes for your event or your NA, and you're going to need to find your NS, so all possibilities in that event. And this is a good kind of template to use to follow along and figure that out. All right, this is the important formula for 19.3. This combinations formula will get you all the information that you need to find the probabilities of certain events. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email and let me know. Bye.